Some of you may be new, some of you may not know who I am. My name is Paul Michael. I am one of the ones that kind of started and put this whole thing together, but there's a lot of other people that are very involved and help out a tremendous amount. And so today we're going to have a little fun. We're going to go through a couple of different things. I'm going to show you a couple of things or two things that are kind of new. Actually, all three things are kind of new. We're going to actually be implementing our new pay plan that will help all of you that are big builders. And those of you that aren't builders, maybe you will start becoming builders. And I'm very excited. It is actually 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. here in Dubai. Show you a little bit of where I am. You see out that window. It's a very beautiful city, very modern, very everything. I will tell you, I never thought anywhere could be hotter and more humid than Florida. I stand corrected. It is very hot. It is very humid. And now I understand why they get a lot of work done here, because they don't go outside during the day. They don't go out and play. They work in the AC. And thank goodness they have great AC. So we had a lot of a blast here. We were actually in town to meet with people about going international. We're about to work on Mexico. We are working on contrary to some people's beliefs, we are working on our app. I got an angry email from one person who, it's okay. Listen, we're not perfect. I've told everybody, if you're looking for perfection, this is not it. It takes a long time to build something really good. But a lot of you are amazing. You're so nice. You're, absolutely amazing when it comes to the way you treat us and the way your patience is. And, I caution people, if you're wanting something perfect, this is not it. Like, we're not going to be there for probably a while, but we are operating. We're going to be opening more cities. I'm getting more involved with that. We're pushing to open more cities. And I'll just let you know, as we grow, you're going to sometimes see that we have to put cities on pause. We're going to open cities. The way we do things is totally different than any other company on the face of the earth. And that's okay, because I am used to taking criticism. I'm used to being taking shots in the back. I'm used to people telling me how great I am until I'm not. And, so I'm on. Yeah, I think Brian, I think you're on a wrong call. Somebody's saying they're on a call with one person. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to actually have to send him James, could you do me a favor and make sure that he's on the right? I know James is on here. If you could send Brian Smith, because I know you have his information, I'm going to have him talk too as well. If you wouldn't mind sending, if you'll get that over to him.
You had the link?
Huh?
Did you send me the link?
I mean, you got on here, so whatever link you used.
Yeah, but I'm on you probably gave me access, so.
Oh, that's fine. Can you send him a presenter link? You know how to do that?
Let me see if I can.
If you go up under the menu and you go invite people.
Yep. I see
there
it.
should be.
Okay, so which one is it? Presenter link?
Yep. If you
Yep,
don't
I'll
mind
send it
sending
to him
that
right
over to
now.
him.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'm going to have James in just a second. Once he gets done with that, I'll have him do a little bit of an update on our tech and things that are going on in that realm. Today, there's three things we're going to cover. I'm going to show you guys a tool that I wish everybody was utilizing. And if every single one of us would use this every single day, I think that we would start growing tremendously fast. And then I'm going to have, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the pay plan. And then we're going to end with a new tool that we have that I have vetted these people. I have beat them up, not physically, but mentally and verbally. And because I take it very seriously when I bring anybody from the outside, but they're not really from the outside. They've been a part of what we're doing and excited about what we're doing for a long time. But at the end of today, I have a tool that I really believe that's going to help us grow in a way that we haven't grown. And I've held back and I've not let us do it because we weren't at that level and ready to do it yet. So that'll be exciting at the end of the call. But one thing I just want to caution people on is this is not what we're doing is different. What we're doing is not easy. What we're doing is not simple. It is simple, but it's not. It is very, very simple, but it is also not easy. It takes time. It takes work. It takes dedication. It takes over and over and over getting up, doing the things that you don't want to do every single day. And I'm just telling you, like I'm not very tolerant of people that come at me in a way. I'm not a almost said a bad word. I'm not a person who you can bully. I'm not a person who sits there and takes, I'll be the nicest person on the face of the earth, but if we tell you there's a certain way to do things and we're doing it a certain way, and then I get chastised and talked down to, I'm probably not the best one to do that with. I have a goal. I know where we're going, and it's going to take a little bit of time. But every single day, if I really thought we weren't getting better every single day, I would be the first one to be screaming and yelling. But I know for a fact we're getting better. And so I just want to also, if you ever see us ever doing anything else, like I know it's, you hear people, oh, I had somebody that sent me an email that said, oh, if you would quit concentrating on gold stuff and crypto and blockchain and blah, 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 maybe you would get more done on your app. And it's like, that is just so shallow thinking. If you don't think that every single day we get up and everything I do is focused on bringing more and more revenue into a Revo, it's crazy. It takes a tremendous amount of money and time and effort to run a company like what we run. And as we grow around the world, it's going to take even more funds. And there are certain things that I know that can generate revenue so fast. The gold buying business, which I'm about to have a part of. Well, we already have a part of it. James is his group, his other team has been working on that. But I will just say, please do never doubt that our 100% total focus is everything that we do leads back to Revo. Everything that we do leads back to building a ecosystem and a group of a community that just takes off. And so I don't take it lightly. I'm very serious about what we're doing. I've been on the road essentially for the last 5 months. It feels like in 4 months, I spent 12 days at home. And so I didn't do that. And yes, do I get to go to cool places and experience life and do some fun things? Absolutely. But I will promise you, after being on the road for a while, it starts grating on you. It starts wearing you down. So I am ready to be back in my own bed at some time in the very, very near future. So, James, if you want, can you just give us a little bit of an update of what we're working on, where we
Yes,
are, what's going on?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so, obviously, Paul said, to kinda give you a preview, we're already working on the new, pay plan, so that's a lot of back end work that needs to be done, in order to get the proper calculations on all that. Um,
And that will be going live today or tomorrow, right?
yeah, we're just doing final edits on the calculation, which we can probably have it, I'm gonna say for sure by midweek, because we just wanna make sure we get the final testing done on those, final
And
calculations,
if
but
y'all
yes.
think that y'all get frustrated, James and I have this constant fight that developers love to do. The love developers love to tell you a day, and then they're like, "Oh no, we just need a little more testing." Which I understand he wants to get it right because if he puts it out too fast, then when he gets yelled at on the other side that it's not working right.
It's
So,
it's it's such a and that I wanna emphasize, the capabilities,
James,
I'm
do you have a
always working on.
camera? Nobody wants to see James.
I know, I don't wanna see, like, yeah.
In the chat, somebody's like, "Does James have a camera?"
I'll
I
be
mean,
camera ready next week, I promise that. So
camera.
anyways,
We're never gonna be camera
yeah.
ready.
So to Paul's point, the app is obviously been used quite a bit, and what happens is when we're adding new capabilities, I'm doing a lot more testing than before because what happens is we had some prior issues and things things break, new updates happen with Apple and Android, and they constantly enforce developers to always update to the latest greatest SDKs, or basically the tools that they provide. So that theme is being emphasized because what happens is we're going to get more support calls, and that's the last thing I want our team to have to go through. So I'm doing a lot more testing up front to make sure that any new changes don't impact what we already have good going right now. So we're just trying to keep building upon the capabilities, but not having impacts to what's already out there. So
For the
um,
longest time, we would just go, "Hey, let's just put it up, put it up, put it up, put it up, put it up," which was fine. But you also have to get to a point, like James is saying, where one thing he does in one area can affect the whole system. And so he might fix something over here, but if we haven't tested it, haven't made sure it's right, then it'll break something over there, and then he gets yelled at on both sides.
Yeah,
So
and it's obviously 2 apps, but it's for me, it's 2 apps times 2 because I have to deal with Android as well. For the folks that are on Android, we're not discounting that platform, but
I
we
am.
are. So, I mean, I'm emphasizing that on both sides because we actually had a problem where I made a fix on the app, then it only impacted Android users because something was updated on the Android side that they enforced a higher SDK. So again, it's just one of those things where I got to test on both sides. So it's always times two on my end. So, anyways, new updates, things I promised last week, new navigation options that will be done this week. It'll be posted probably by end of. I'm gonna submit the app update tonight. Um, we're still working on a new home screen layout. So that's going to give you all those new things around what's new, training videos, recordings, a lot of new drivers, especially is going to help because, rather than calling support and you're having issues, whenever there's an issue that's maybe from 1 or 2 users, I'm not going to say that it's going to be across the board, but we would get a lot more support calls because the app we're in multiple cities. So if you're having one issue and we're not seeing that across our user base, then it's probably going to be isolated, and we'll just figure out the root cause on those scenarios, and we'll work with you. But I do have to follow up on a few people that are isolated on trying to get enrolled or something. So those are things we'll be happy to work out with you, but it won't be across the board, because we would be getting a lot more issues across the board.
Right. I know. Listen, when somebody has a problem, and I get it. I mean, it's like it's a fire drill. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, the house is on fire." When sometimes it's just your phone hasn't updated, or you're in a bad area, or a number of things. So, and sometimes, listen, even with me, I'll go out on our website, and for some reason it doesn't load, and I'll freak out. I try to stop myself. I try to wait 15 minutes, but sometimes like, "Oh my god, our website's down," and then 5 minutes later, I go back to it, and it's up, and I'm like, "Oh shoot." So it was just a glitch, a momentary something. So sometimes just give a little bit of time. Please, if you're on a ride, that's a little bit different. We're trying to get those things taken care of. But and Arthur and West Palm, which I love your spirit, I love your attitude, but I hate your phone, Arthur. I'm just kidding. I'm
Arthur,
just kidding.
don't we'll support you
I'm an
100%.
Apple snob, and I'm always gonna be. Like, there's one thing that I am, I love all people, I love all races, I love all communities. I just don't like androids. So, it's okay. Someday in heaven, I promise you, when we get to heaven, there will be no androids. I've already had a chat with God and he's let me know. I'm just kidding. So
So
awesome. Anything
final
else you got,
yeah,
James?
yeah, just final update. So there's been one area where I've been doing a lot of research, and it's actually gonna help, I think, do promotion and making sure that people get to value in the app quicker. And this is where when we're sharing links to others about our program and our rideshare capabilities is sharing that link and then get to a point where they can start downloading and get value of the app. So this is referred as sharing the link, and I know the link that people have been using is the QR code. So the goal is to try to eliminate another step of going into the app and doing another enrollment. So I'm working on getting a link directly to the app that will be tied to your identity, and then the user would log in only in the app and register, and they'll be tied to your upline. So that's been a challenge before because Apple and iOS, or Android and iOS,
Android.
is very difficult to try to use what's called linking, or in the technical world they call it deep linking. And I found a vendor that could probably help us to facilitate that. So more to come next
That's
week.
been
We have
something
a
we've wanted from day one because
hundred
we
percent, 100%.
James has
And
kept himself
this
up at
was
night trying to get this
this was
done.
actually found with another project. It's a social project that requires a lot of that, and I'm going to leverage that capability in Revo. So again, Revo's been my number one thing when I wake up, when I go to sleep at night. I mean,
And in your
there's
sleep and in your dreams.
there's nothing but Revel in my mind, 100%. So
But the
that might
great thing
be
about it is I know the project you're talking about is our other one, right?
yes, correct.
And so it's great because of something he was doing with that project might benefit what we're doing here.
Oh,
So
and vice
that'd be
versa. There's gonna be obviously some synergy across the board, so you can get into that later, but all right, but that's
awesome.
it for me.
Good. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. So next thing I want to jump into, and I know that I haven't been on in a few weeks, so we may go longer. Well, we are going to go longer than 20 minutes, but there's something that I have showed you guys that I really, really want you to start trying to utilize. I want to show you again. If you're on a call, some of you may or may not have been on a call with me a few weeks ago, month or so ago, actually, with Tony and I. And I hope you can see my screen. I'm pretty sure you can. Let me just make sure in the chat you can see my screen. Yeah. All right. Can you see my screen? If anyone could answer in the chat, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're seeing the multiple screen though.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So you can see my now site right here,
Yes.
James?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So I want you guys to understand what Now Site is. So there's a program I was introduced to. One of my doctor friends, he has a private practice and he has a couple of different businesses, and he utilizes this for one thing. But I think there's so many opportunities to be able to use this, and it's just great. How many of you on a daily basis you would love to be more social, would love to be able to put up more stuff online, and be able to do it in a way that you don't have to sit there and think for 20 minutes to write a post. So there's a thing called Now Site. I'm not going to go through every aspect of it, but I am going to try to go through a couple of different things. You can go into this Now Site. I use this almost on a daily basis. And I know some of you are still leery and don't want to use AI or artificial intelligence. I will just tell you this. AI has made my life so much easier with as many things as I have to do when it comes to writing contracts, emails, all kinds of different things. And I just use this on a daily basis. And if you've noticed, some of my posts probably sound a little bit more intelligent than I actually am. But it's made it so that I can leverage my time so much easier. I just want to show you real quickly. If I wanted to go into here and I've set this up. I set up this program and it costs money. Don't get me wrong. You get like a 7-day free trial. With us, I think you get, and James, if you can, another thing we're about to do too, James, if you can remind, we got to make sure we do this ASAP, is put a place for people. We're going to have where people can sign up to get a Rev wallet for us to be listed on exchanges. So I'm telling you, if you're not a part of if you're just doing the rideshare part of it, that's fine. But we have got to make sure that we start getting Rev wallets because we want to have these tokens and rewards. And I know I've said I'm going to get you guys rewards, and I'm a liar right now because I haven't done it. But James and Alex and I now are working on this together because I can't do everything on my own or have enough time. But we're going to have a place where people can sign up and get their own Rev wallet to get their rewards. So I'm telling you, we're going to have it in the app, but I can't sit around and wait and try to figure out who goes to who. So if you don't sign them up and connect and get their Rev wallet set up for them, they will end up getting a Rev wallet from the company. And so unfortunately, I can't sit back and just not have that out there because it's part of our grand plan to help all of you make those rewards that you're going to be receiving into something worth a lot more than what they're worth right now. So I'll just leave it with that. But that's coming. So right now, if I wanted to go in here and I wanted to write a post about Revo Rideshare, and I wanted to write, to let's just say I want to inspire people, write a post about about Revo and how it can help people worldwide. I should have my glasses on because I'm sure I'm spelling all this wrong. I can go down here. I can do it in any kind of language I want, Dutch. And then I just hit generate. Look over here. Within seconds, imagine a world where every ride you take makes a difference. Welcome to Revo Rideshare. We're transforming the rideshare sharing game by making it more affordable for riders and profitable for drivers. And that is not the image I want. I do not want a Lyft image in there, but I can just change the image. Hold on, guys. Sorry, let me go back. We'll be changing that image. Shoot, I messed up. You get the point. I could go in there and write that Inspire Revo. Let's go again. Hopefully it won't give me a Lyft picture. We're on a mission to change the world. A decentralized platform is redefining ride sharing with blockchain technology, making journeys not only affordable, but also rewarding. Just as Dale Carnegie said, success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Join us in this revolution. I can go in here and I can change this image. I can try and find a ride share. I could use that one. Where'd that picture go? I don't know how to do it, actually. Let's see. Probably just have to go down here to the bottom or something. Whatever, I'm not going to mess with it right now. But I can do compliance on this. I can have this write this for any, it'll change it for each type of social. I can put it in LinkedIn. And all I will do, if I wanted to do it, I would hit post. It would go to my page. It would already be copied. I would just, if I wanted to change anything, I'd paste it onto my place. The picture is already saved into my phone. I can do this from anywhere on anything and get post up and done. But there's a couple of things I really want you guys to see, and we're working on getting this really perfected. And I don't know if you're going to be able to hear the sound. I hope you can. But if you see here, this ugly person that is in front of you, we are working to make this so that our customer service, anyone can go here and ask a question. How do I sign up? James, if you can tell me, or if somebody can tell me if you can hear the voice whenever it starts talking. We are getting this whole thing trained so that it has all kinds of information. That's not what I wanted. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Can you hear it or no?
I can't.
You can or can't?
Can't.
Nope.
Shoot. I don't know why. I got to talk to Darren about this. So there will be this part. Now that you can't hear it, it just told me these words right here. It was spoken and it was done in my name or my voice. So we're working on getting this so that every question anyone has will be loaded in and I'll be able to answer it, because a lot of times there's misinformation that goes out and there's things that are out there. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the most important things that I really want to show you, and we're going to move on because I want to get to this last part real quickly today, is my prospects. I can utilize this. And now listen, I don't know exactly how much this feature costs, because the more features you have, and I have everything on it, I think I pay quite a bit on a monthly basis, but I think it is so strong. We're doing an event in Amsterdam this next weekend, I think on Saturday on the 2nd, if that's the 2nd. And I want to be able to have people that are interested in blockchain, interested in rideshare. So all I did was I went into this place right here, Amsterdam. I put in the Netherlands, blockchain, and I'm going to put right here that I want to find a prospect. I have 2 hours tomorrow set aside to where I'm going to contact these people. Now, there's something in their technology, human rights, software development, Linux, MSK, there's something right here, and I'm going to go and view their contact. It's found something that could benefit, that it's kind of been, related to what we're talking about. Look, they have something in their skills, blockchain, cryptocurrency. Do you think that might be someone good for me to contact? And then on top of it right here, I can go straight into their LinkedIn. I can go to there, I can send them a message. I can contact him, and I have it already written out. Then if I want to analyze their personality, it may or may not be on this one. Some people have oh yeah, here you go. Personality tells me a lot about them. I was telling the guys whenever I first looked at this program, I'm like, this makes me so mad. Kind of, but not really. I spent 30 years learning personality types, how to deal with people, what to say, what not to say, how to read someone's personality. Because listen, most people in sales, they sell from who they are. Nobody cares what I think. They care what's in it for them. And so I've learned over the years that my goal is, and I learned this from, a gentleman, what's his name? Sales guy. One of the best salespeople ever. Used to be a door-to-door salesman. But he said, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And that's all I've tried to do for the last 30 years. And so I can go in here, though, and I can see, how should I talk to this person? How do I book a meeting? Schedule it soon to keep the momentum going. Be confident, keep it short and sweet and to the point. And try this. We can increase your efficiency by 10% in your first month. Are you free to talk? So there's different ways that I can talk to this person. These pain points will most impact Aaron. Team members lacking clarity and honesty, slow progression of goals, and anything stopping the flow of a process. But I already know that he is interested in blockchain. So when I write a message, I will go to either ChatGPT and I'll have them help me write a message to someone who has these things. I know Lisa Peck is probably not the most, she'll tell you, not the most technically advanced person ever, but I have watched her embrace using ChatGPT, and it's so funny because she'll send me stuff and she's like, hey, how does this sound? And I'm like, it sounds great because artificial intelligence wrote it. But it's great that she's really embracing it. And I think some of you, if you would just embrace it and try it and work at it a little bit, you're going to be surprised where you are. But I just think this whole program right here, NowSite, and if you want, I can put a link in the group and text in a minute when I let this other human being come on here and chat for a couple minutes. But I just think that is something very, very vital for us to be able to utilize. And we're always going to try to bring you new tools, new things going on. And so the last thing I want to do today is bring on someone who I have had the opportunity to get to know over the last year. And he can tell you, I'm very blunt. I'm very aggressive when it comes to making sure that things are protected, that our people are protected. I don't ever want to introduce anything that, people can just get taken advantage of. And I know there's a lot of things out there that are, but I also know that there's experts in different fields and they know how to make things work. And Brian, if you want, you're on here, right? You should be able to turn your camera on. Yeah. There you are. Now, I would never tell you that his beard is the most kept thing I've ever seen in my life, but that goes along with the craziness that he is. So Brian and I met. I had Tony one day call me and say, hey, these guys want to talk to you about blockchain and Revo. And so I talked to him and John, and I've become good friends with them over the last year. And it's been amazing because they've been very, very patient. They've understood that I was at certain places and we weren't ready to go, but they've always just had an excitement and an energy about Revo, and anything I've ever asked of them, they've done. And so I'm ready finally for us to unleash this. And I told people we would have this, but Brian, I want you to tell them a little bit about your background, what you've done when it comes to funnels, sales things, why you're excited about Revo, and then what we have to offer people now so that they can start utilizing things.
Absolutely, Paul. Definitely appreciate your time and everybody on. Hey, I'm Brian, and for the last part of, now 17 years, I've been in the direct sales game. I've owned a advertising agency since 2013. I merged it with my mentor, who's owned an offline advertising agency specializing in direct mail campaigns since 1996, and now we handle offline and online advertising solutions for companies, for affiliates of those companies, such as yourself, and for real-world business entrepreneurs who own their own businesses who want more quality leads coming in that they can introduce their product or service to that are already targeted to what they're looking for. And that's what I've been so excited to be able to bring to what you guys have, because if you guys listen to the first teaser video that Paul put out there, we've been able to come into the Revo land and say, oh, I know this world very well, because back now at 2016, I started the company called Drive for Success that serviced different rideshare company drivers and users to become actual drivers of that company. And I used to get paid from those different companies to bring them drivers and bring them users. So I've learned and developed things. Plus, social media has made it really, really easy for us in this world, because if we take away, not to take away anything from the process, but if we take away the blockchain element of it as the primary focus and we put in the rideshare need as the primary focus, that's actually a targeted interest that all social media platforms have taken the last decade to find, oh, this person uses that weekly. Let me put them over here in this category, and then allows us to target a message and say, hey, do you use rideshare weekly? We have something for you over here you should take a look at. And we can target people who use rideshare to get around town, get to and from work every day, those kind of impacts, to where now we can take the right message, put it in front of the people who need to hear the message about Revo being 30% cheaper than Uber. Imagine somebody who's living even a decent life where they're going to a real world job and they're needing to spend that Uber every single day, but it doesn't necessarily hurt their paycheck, because in their mind, it's part of how they get to work. It's how they make their money. Now you come in with a message that you're 30% cheaper to that person. You just save them 30% of what they spend every single week on getting to and from where they're going, because you've become the replacement to their primary mode of transportation. And then obviously finding drivers, there's a targeted interest for rideshare drivers, even taxi cab drivers as well, to be able to talk to those people and switch them over to becoming part of the and movement. Obviously, we see a whole bunch of our drivers that are still actively doing the other ride shares, either bringing tons of customers in that way or just, supplementing some of their time. And we want to preach that message to the wave of people who are out there using rideshare technology right now to make it so they don't have to go to that job that they don't want to be a part of, that they get those flexible hours that they want, that they get the freedom of feeling like they are in control of their own path of their future and their finances, and then bring them over to the Revo side of things where they get paid more, where they have that story like you hear almost weekly in the group now, where somebody shows what they would have made on a Lyft or an Uber trip and what the customer would have paid, and then having them switch to Revo and then making that more and having that smile on their face for it. So we're going to be able to bring that to the table for all of you starting now without you having to know that person, right? See, what I love about Paul and all of the community that we've built here in Revo is you guys are superstars at the offline marketing model, that, hey, I know this person needs to come here, this person needs this type of model. You guys have that crushing. And now we're being able to bring the flip side of that coin to you, to where you're going to experience people in your downline that you don't know. They just joined because you ran an ad campaign for that city or for that targeted area speaking to the message, and they needed to hear the message. And we were able to put the message in front of them for you with our paid advertising campaigns that we're running as our team traffic effort takes all of you and turns your team into a much larger Revo organization, while you still handle the things that you guys are good at with your offline marketing, with your real world events, with your telling people to come watch the videos like this and getting them involved.
So awesome. So the way that people get involved is, what do they need to do? So how is it going to work? So like, walk me through it as if I'm new, because I am.
Cool. So it works from start to finish like this. Susie from Wisconsin is going to be a part of the Revo Team Traffic package. So she's going to choose whichever one of her packages that she wants to, and she can send it through one of the various ways that we accept payment. And then from there, she sends us her link, and we take her link and then we take one of our pretty privileged model videos that we've custom made, asking people if they use rideshare services to get around, and if so, they should watch what we're doing because we're going to save them some money. So they're going to watch a 15-second video that when they click, they can instantly go ahead and download. If they don't instantly go ahead and download, we haunt them, aka run retargeting campaigns, retelling them, hey, we know that you're about to go to work and you're about to spend too much on that list. Like, why don't you come over here? So we chip away at them or get a first response out of them to where they download the app. And then we follow up with that same retargeting mentality of making sure that they're taking that Revo ride, reminding them that they get the $5 off. And then once we have them in the cycle, you can get to know them. You can not communicate with them at all. You can give them the proper training that a good team leader would, whatever you want to do, because we're also going to be able to follow up with that lead for you to make sure that they are plugged into and getting either the marketing system, the team traffic, the trainings every week. They're plugged into the mentality of, am I just using this as a service, or am I building a business with it? And even if they are just using it for a service, we're gently reminding them with an email follow-up, hey, you not only received rewards for this trip that you just took, but you probably know at least 5 people at your work that also Uber to work, that could Revo to work, that you could make money off of. And getting your team, whether they just use the product or they have the mentality, to spread the message from there, all while you only were responsible for sending in your payment, giving us your Revo link, and watching your email notifications for your new time sign-up members.
So let me ask you this. Someone asked a question. So do we wait until an area is opened or start anytime?
So that's the beautiful thing. We have the dual type of action for you. Obviously, you got to get the city open from Paul. But if you're either a city that's already opened, we're going to have it as an automatic option. Or if you're a city that's open but you don't think you're getting a lot of volume, I would encourage you to go ahead and get some team traffic going for that city, because even if you're consistently buying traffic with us, you're going to consistently by yourself, if you're by yourself in that city, build out a new team, and you're going to get customers and drivers out of it. So you won't just be overwhelmed if you spend some money and now all of a sudden you have a couple hundred customers. You're going to get some drivers on your team as well. You're going to get those fail safes if you haven't hit your fail safe number yet. We have actually one person already that did it for the mentality of, okay, I'm actually this close to the fail-safe in his mind. I think he hit the actual goal for the fail-safe, but he understands with the amount of traffic he wants to buy, he really needs even more fail-safe drivers. So he asked for us to help him hit the fail-safe goal before even running the ads for the customer. So really, you guys have the ability now, for those of you who didn't have a large network, to open up, or to get to where you could open up your city by running some traffic to it. Or if, like we just said, if it's open but you're the only one even, or you have your fail-safe drivers, you can turn around and crank up the volume there on the driver and on the customer side. So you're not alone. So your city is looked at like our multiple cities now that are doing excellent rides out there and have full support teams, and you see them going active in the chat with their different results that they post.
So an individual, they could have teams in all. I mean, if they bought traffic, they can do it per like a certain city, or they can do it in multiple cities, or they can do it however they want, right? Like somebody's going to really take off and go after this at some point and have like 20 cities with their own drivers and customers in those cities, which is what we've always said we would do at some point.
That's the power of paid advertising, because as we pointed out, you guys have been going to your warm market and you've been pulling your warm market out. Now you're given the ability to go to what's considered cold traffic anywhere in the world that you want to target. So absolutely, if they want a team in multiple cities, I know I already see some of them throwing up some comments in there that they're going crazy with the mentality of it. So yeah, I expect a lot of them to be able to say, here's my Atlanta team, here's my Houston team, here's my Columbia team, here's my, I haven't been to those cities yet, they had to get to 50 people before I decided to fly out mentality. And then they have those kind of moves to where they know, here's the number that I want, here's the calculatable result per dollar. So here's the dollar amount my team needs to spend to achieve this result for the team. And then that's the kind of, if you will call it, a new mentality that they get to add to the current mentality of, let me roll up my sleeves, let me go talk to my warm market, and then let me plug them into the process. So if they can,
we'll get to the pricing in just a second. I know a lot of people are blowing up the chat asking that. We'll get that in just a second. So I didn't mean to cut you off. So let me ask you this: for our friends around the world, like say I'm in Dubai or I'm in Amsterdam or I'm in, Australia, I can participate in this and start building my team even from in the U.S. outside of the U.S., correct?
Absolutely. In a couple of different ways. Number one, like you just said, they could be outside the U.S. and they can build anywhere that Revo's already open. Here's the other thought to it. People in a city that Revo's not open in yet, you can build in a city that Revo is open because of this. So you can pick any of the cities that you want to throw some new leads and some new drivers into, even if you're not in that city or in that country yourself, and we can build your team underneath you there using the paid advertising.
So another question someone had is the cost for every different city. They're different. Do you pay different prices for different cities? Do you all in one, or how does that work?
Okay, so any of the larger packages, we can also split down into multiple cities for you, or you can dip your toe in the water with one and then come back and get another one and go at whatever pace that you would like to go to. So any of the two options is fine. For those of you who instantly have multiple cities in mind, I would encourage one of the higher packages so that you can dedicate different ad spend to different cities so that you know, hey, I would like to get 5 drivers and 10 customers in these 3 cities, right? Or these 5 cities. So you know what to do in that regard instead of just grabbing a package at a time. Or like we said, if you have a home base, if you have a most important city and you want to spend more on that one, you can buy a specific one for that one, and then you can buy a package for each one, or you can buy a joint package for multiple cities. There's flexibility here with the ability to be able to build with what we've already put into place for them.
So where can they go to find out pricing and go through the whole program and figure out what's best for them? Because I don't want to go through all the pricing and stuff, because, I mean, you can go through and look at it and see what the different options are, correct? Where do they go?
Correct. So we did post the video in the Revo team group. We also have the video on YouTube.
Is there a link?
Itself. Yes, there should be. Let me grab the link to the video itself. And I'll post the video link in the group.
So when they go through the video, what does that do?
The video will show them the pricing, and then
I give them the way to sign up. I haven't even gone through the whole thing yet.
Yeah. We made it pretty simple for them because of the various ways that we accept the payment. We just let them watch the video and then tell us which way they want to send the payment, and then we specifically send them the link for that via whichever way is comfortable for them. But here's the video to.
So if people want to contact you directly.
Yeah, if you want to contact me directly, I'm in the group, but also I will drop my email in the chat. It's BJ DOLLA, so like dollar without the R, 23 the number at gmail.com. I posted it into the chat, and then you can contact me via email. You can send me a DM on any social media. And I'm in the Revo.
Somebody asked, so let's say 10 people want to package together. Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you, but how does 10 people want to package together? How do the links get debited out in ads? I don't think you'll be able to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've been doing this a long time. Yeah. So there are softwares that allow us to do a rotator link that goes out via the click itself. So we will be able to divide it for the team evenly. For those cases, we definitely recommend any of the higher packages. And obviously that's a no-brainer because even the highest package at that point is very little dollars for a team of 10 to come out of their pocket each. So you guys will definitely probably even want the highest package there. But yeah, any of the higher packages to make sure that you get a good enough amount of traffic for your team. And then we can put them in a rotator, send the actual rotator link out itself, and then the traffic gets tracked back for each individual person for them.
So do you cut off how many people can pay for a given city?
Well,
not right now, probably.
We aren't at this point, but there is like a teeter meter, if you will, to where we want to make sure that we're tapping into the driver existing database, and it's not the customer database isn't outweighing the driver database, which will come to a point if we're spending like 7 figures a week in a city, we might get there. But even in the beginning, we'll take a long time before we actually get to that point, and we will have, that's a great problem to have, because then we'll be talking about, well, we're doing 10,000 rides a day in this city. Do we want to increase it more? Or do we want to go to the next city over type of mentality? And that's also something that comes with that is as we kind of pack on to a city, we get to kind of the opposite of a leech or a devourer. We get to come and fill it, and then we get to, as a group, go to that next city, and then fill it and go to the next city and go to the next city. It's kind of like a group effort that way.
So one thing we're going to start doing is also we're going to start doing calls on a weekly basis. So when you get your new people in and get them involved and those type of things, we're going to give them the opportunity to start finding out about this on a weekly basis. You know, we'll have Brian start doing some calls on it every single week so that we can start exposing this. Because, I mean, I really, truly believe that this is, you know, in most businesses, when you get involved, there's all kinds of costs. With Revo, there's no cost. So we don't make you pay for your website. We don't make you pay for your referral link. We don't make you get on a standing order. We don't make you do any of those things. So I look at this as going, hey, you know what? This is a way that people can start building their own business. And those leads and those things that come in are yours. Like, they're tied to you for life, you know? And this is something, as this thing grows and we're able to go around the world, instead of, you know, Uber doing $1 million in advertising and screwing the drivers over and customers over, we do hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising, but that money and those can go back to you guys. Like, if you really break it down, and on the pay plan, I didn't really go into it, but the new pay plan will be out in the next 24 to 48 hours, and it will be automated and it will be put together. But you're going to, on $100 ride, if you're the one that refers that driver, that customer, just for simple terms, you're going to make $3. So if you multiply that, if you look at the numbers of how many times, if people do rides, I can get you the statistics, but someone does rides. I've been in Dubai for 5 days. You know how many times I've used Uber here? Like probably 15 in 5 days. The average person that uses rideshare uses it over and over and over and over and over. So if you look at it and go, if I get one customer and I'm going to, let's say I make $3 twice a week on that customer. You paid for it one time up front. You got that customer. Now you get $6 a week times 4 weeks or 52 weeks a year. Like, you can start realizing how much that can benefit you in the long term. And I was just in a car with a guy here in Dubai yesterday, and we were talking about how, I mean, if you just saw it a couple of weeks ago, Tesla has already come out, or they're coming out with driverless cars. Guess what happens to the jobs for drivers when that takes, and listen, it could be 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road where that really happens, but it's going to happen. I mean, people can say all day. I mean, so I know somebody in their group the other day goes, not me, I would never do that. And I just caution people, never say never, because I can promise you, my teacher in high school told me I would never, when I said, why don't we just do everything on a calculator? And in my algebra class, she said, because what are you going to do? Walk around with a calculator in your pocket? Yeah, I walk around with a calculator in my pocket every day now. And so, and it's funny because the people that say that never going to do something usually end up doing it the most. So I'm just telling you, like, this is going to happen. What if they have no drive? What if there's no drivers? They'll still need to have cars. And guess what? You'll still need to do Uber. You'll still need to have transportation. Transportation isn't going away. But what if you've got all these customers and we have driverless cars? You're still going to make money on the customers forever. Like, I don't care. We can adapt and we can change. But if they get rid of drivers, drivers are out of a job. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth, because we will have to change with the times as well. I don't want to, but we would have to. My goal is for drivers to have as many customers as possible, so that when that time comes, our drivers have been retired for 2 or 3 years because they were smart enough to go, hey, I'm going to take a little bit of my money that I make every day. I'm going to put it into paid advertising or something that builds my business. And then down the road, they're taken care of. So if they go watch the video, that'll give them a lot of the information, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. So listen, I got to get on another call, but I'm going to set up a weekly, we'll set up a weekly call, at least maybe once or twice a week, where we can take 15, 20 minutes to have people get on, find out. We'll do a video on the paid traffic advertising stuff too, so that people can understand it. This video will be available as soon as I can get it up tonight. I'll probably be up for a few hours, so I'll probably try to get that up tonight. So I appreciate all of you so much. Thanks, Brian. I know he's been chomping at the bit for me to get this out for 6 months, and I just knew we weren't ready for it, but I know we are now, and I know he's the one to help us take it to a whole different level. So thank you very much, guys. We will talk to you all soon. We'll get our new pay plan out for you. And it's not new. It's just some little bitty tweaks. But like I always say, if you just keep this in your head, our drivers will always make more. Our clients will always pay. Our clients will pay less. Our drivers will make more. And every time someone does a ride, someone will get a reward. And we're working on all these things to get it right. So I appreciate your support. And I'm going to do my best to do more videos, be more involved if I possibly can. And I really just hope I can stop traveling soon so I can sleep in my own bed. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.